Welcome, everybody, to another episode of the Heartland Franchise Guide, your insider's guide to franchises in the Heartland area. I'm Blake Martin, local small business franchise owner and your Heartland Franchise Guide. This is the place for education, resources, and advocacy for our local franchising field, and for local entrepreneurs looking to learn about the franchising field. This is part 2 of our small business funding session with Wendy Skemer, Senior Consultant with Benetrends Financial. Now we're going to dedicate some discussion to the product known as the Rollover for Business Startup, a tool that enables you to roll funds from a qualified 401k or IRA, tax-free and penalty-free, in order to fund startup and ongoing operating capital of a new business. This IRS-approved product has been hiding in plain sight for decades, as most people just aren't aware it exists. So, Wendy, I got that right, correct? It's called the Rollover for Business Startup?
It is, yes. So because the acronym is the ROBS, we do refer to it as the Rainmaker Plan. So if you hear me say ROBS, Rainmaker, Rollover for Business Startup, it is all the same program. And what that program is once you have eligible retirement funds, so let's say you have a 401k and you've left your employer. Okay. You might have a traditional IRA. Maybe you have a rollover IRA. Hopefully you have all of it. All of those funds, TSP, if you're a teacher who's retired, which I'm getting a lot of medical providers and teachers who are leaving their job, kind of burnt out probably from everything they've gone through, and don't realize that they can use their retirement without tax or penalty to buy a business. So the way that works is you create a corporate entity, which of course you're going to do no matter what business you buy and how you buy it. And we do that for you as part of the program. But let's just say we get started, we set up a C corporation for you, and we customize a retirement plan. So our goal is to set you up like a big company. I live around the corner from Amgen, and we're going to set you up just like that. You're a company and you're going to sponsor a retirement plan. And Blake, they can roll funds into that new retirement plan without tax or penalty. So think about, you left your job at Nike and you went to work for the Gap and you rolled over your 401k from your old job to your new job. Yeah. Same exact thing. No tax or penalty. The exciting thing is you get in your new job, usually you want to buy stock in your company. So this program allows you to buy stock in your own company. So instead of having my old 401k invested in Nike and the Gap, I can take that money now in retirement and buy stock in Wendy Incorporated, doing business as ABC Franchise.
Literally investing in yourself.
Exactly right. So instead of saying, I'm going to roll my money to a rollover IRA and invest it in everybody else's publicly traded company, I can take that money and invest it in my company. And so you can basically own your company as part of your retirement plan. It is a genius program. When we say we're a full service retirement planning company, Blake, it's because we help folks use their retirement funds in that way. And then we work with them as they grow their business. How do they keep the money they're making? And then when they're ready to sell their business or leave it for a family member, how do we help them mitigate taxation? So it's the long term that's really important. Folks are so excited to become an entrepreneur. I get it, but it's really more exciting to think, oh, wow, when I unwind or when I'm ready to really retire, I'm going to really be ahead of the game and have saved myself a tremendous amount of money.
Yeah. Question for you on that. So you've talked extensively about that. We're not done with that, but then we've also talked about the SBA loan. If somebody wants to use those together, like this Rainmaker, for some of the liquid capital, it enables them to get an SBA loan. Is that doable? Or can you not do those things at the same time?
Absolutely, Blake. The lenders look at these funds as the non-borrowed funds that they are. They can be used in conjunction with an SBA loan. They can be used for that cash injection that the candidate needs to put forward. And what's nice about that is they can then hold on to their post-tax funds in their savings account and their checking account, so they don't have to touch that. So when they're closing the loan, lender sees that strong liquidity, right? And they're just moving their retirement funds from one place to another to get their down payment. And just to kind of take that to the next level, you can use retirement funds in combination with any other type of funding to help you achieve that goal.
Yeah, there's no approval process for the rollover, right?
Exactly right. It has to be a business selling a good or a service, which is why it's so popular in franchising, because it's a perfect model. And just to elaborate, I couldn't use it to buy the house next door and just be a landlord. That's not what it's for. It's
because
for me
that's
to
not
go
investing in your retirement.
Yeah, I can't use my retirement funds to just be a landlord in the rollover program. That's not a business, but I can use it if you want to go and find me a franchise and I'm going to be selling a good or a service. It's 100% compliant and you're good to go.
Because the IRS looks at it as you're just finding another way to build your own retirement by investing in yourself versus a whole bunch of other businesses.
Exactly right. Exactly right. I want to invest in myself. Why should I be able to take those retirement funds and buy Tesla and Starbucks, but I can't buy Wendy Incorporated? And it gives you that opportunity to level that playing field, and I can invest in my business and grow my retirement that way.
All right. So let me be the devil's advocate here, or let's be really honest. Let me be the financial advisor or the CPA of somebody who's thinking about starting a business. First thing that comes to my mind is, well, now there's a lot of additional responsibility. If you're asking my client, if I'm an advisor, my client to open up a C Corp, there's a lot of additional responsibilities there. And there's could be, well, for example, double taxation, right? So what about that?
Everybody wants to go there with a C corporation. I'm well equipped with my master's in accounting to say this: we can avoid double taxation. It's in itself, when you hear CPAs and financial advisors refer to it, it's usually in the distribution of dividends.
Right.
So, okay, so the company pays tax, then the leftover profits, the net profits, you can pay a dividend, and that's taxable income to you. So one, you don't always have to pay a dividend, but I want you to keep in mind that we have strategies and programs in place where the company is going to be able to make a contribution back into that retirement plan based on your franchisee's salary. So just like we work every day as an employee, right? I take a salary, I make a contribution to the plan. So before you even get to where the company would have profitability, my client has paid themselves a salary. The company has made a pretty 25% of their salary contribution up to $58,000 in a profit sharing plan back into their retirement plan. So if there's still profit after that, you could pay a dividend, but you don't have to. You could put it in retained earnings and grow your business. You always have an option. And I know there's other areas that double taxation could potentially come up, and we can combat it every step of the way. As my boss, Eric, would say, usually you won't hit that until you're maxed out at about $367,000 in salary. Not that we're number geeks, but it's just like a barometer. Okay, so I've maxed out my
Let's
plan.
hope we get there with any business, right?
And first of all, when you're there, you're happy, but we will still help figure it out. And here's the key. Let's say your client's making money hand over fist, and they just don't like the C corporation anymore for whatever reason. Things could change, right? Franchise agreements for a decade. They can always buy back the stock and convert to another corporate entity and put that money back in the stock market. You're not locked in. And I think that's really important. I do tend to challenge folks if they come to me and say, here's my exit strategy, I want to buy back the stock. Meet with my exit strategy team. Maybe it makes sense to go back to Blake and buy another territory or buy another business, because we just want to make sure that we're achieving that ultimate goal. And sometimes it takes looking at other factors. Okay, double taxation is a concern, but at what point is it a concern? And can we find a way to combat it every step of the way? We can.
This is really good stuff, Wendy. I appreciate you kind of reviewing those common questions as well. I want to be respectful of your time and be respectful of our listeners' time, because we promised them a certain window of time to get through these. So let me ask you, if people are looking for additional information, you must have some tools or resources that people can look at to review this again, or maybe even review it with their CPA or advisor?
Absolutely. I can send links, I can send marketing materials, whatever makes sense for you. We have videos, podcasts, whatever you need on how the program works. What a lot of CPAs like, Blake, is the ERISA code. And so I have that in a nice format as well. So
Oh, yeah. I love staying up late at night and reading the ERISA code. Please send me 8 copies of that. Thank you. What's your website? Obviously, all these tools, the videos and the tutorials are on your website. What's your website, Wendy?
It's www.benetrends.com. And I'll move my head so you can see how we spell Benetrends.
Oh, so it's B as in boy, E-N-E, trends, Trends.com.
Correct. And if you need to reach out to me, it's Wendy@benetrends.com. But I highly recommend that you reach out to Blake and he can point you in the right direction.
Well, we're going to wrap it up with that. Obviously, there's a lot more we can dig into this. Maybe we need to have another episode with you, Wendy, but I want to thank you for your time today. Wendy Skemer, Senior Consultant with Benetrends Financial. We appreciate your insights and probably created a lot of questions for folks. Thank you to all of you for listening to another episode of the Heartland Franchise Guy. We look forward to having you again on another episode. Have a wonderful day.
A Hurrdat Media Production.